Hey everybody, welcome to the monthly Astrology Snapshot for the lunar month beginning at the new moon in Pisces, 2nd of March or 3rd, depending where you are in the world. My name is Paula Shaw and I'm here to give you an overview of the greater cycles within the container of the lunar cycle, which always begins at the new moon and completes just before the next new moon the following month. So this lunar month is so complex. When I was writing and preparing for the Astrology Snapshot, I was swimming through these waters of Pisces. You know, Pisces is beautiful. Pisces is spiritual, it's healing, and like everything in this realm that we live in, there's a shadow side. Everything has a spectrum, a hierarchy within it, every archetype. And Pisces has the shadow side of being nebulous. You can think of Pisces as the waters of the ocean, as the primordial waters where everything dissolves back into oneness, but also where everything is birthed, everything is created from these beautiful Pisces primordial waters. So it's easy to get lost in Pisces, very easy. So right now we have some really big, complex dynamics going on astrologically. Right now, as I'm filming this, Venus and Mars, who have been dancing together for weeks now, are in their conjunction. It's like they're, you know, some astrologers, I've heard them refer to Venus and Mars's relationship as the star-crossed lovers. You know, it's like they're fated to meet in the skies and go on a big journey, because Venus is the feminine principle. She is the goddess, and Mars is the god of war. So it is a big dynamic right now in the skies, and it is the journey of war and peace on one level. Venus represents our values, what we value, how we value things on earth. She connects humans together, which is why she's associated with relationships. But it's how we value things, what really matters. And Mars being the god of war and passion and intensification, you bring these two together and there's a big dynamic at play. You could even say that there's a war, Mars, on our values, Venus. So these themes are really strong in the field right now, as we can all see. You know, what's happening is these two planets, it's enough on its own. And actually, before I go on to the next piece, this has been happening in Capricorn so far. And Capricorn is the sign of our governments, our corporations. Capricorn is associated with tradition and the biggest structures that holds society and our lives together. So when you have the star-crossed lovers meeting in Capricorn and doing a longer than normal conjunction journey, so you know there's no coincidences in that, there is synchronicity here. We could be really looking at the institutions of things like marriage, relationships. You know, we all know that our values in relationships and families and love and romance, all of it's changing. Like the Tinder swindler. I watched that on Netflix. You know, like just these dynamics. It's like these planetary synchronicities are really saying it's time to have a really good look at what all of this means. We're getting real. Capricorn is like, let's get real about this stuff. What really matters to you? What is this institution of till death do us part? What are all these dynamics? So relationships have been going through it really big time, especially in marriage. So any really committed, romantic, but also contractual arranged relationships have been challenged. It's time to get real. The rose-colored glasses have been off since the beginning of this year, and it's painful, it's brutal, but it's also a powerful moment to go, well, what really matters to me? Now, this conjunction between Mars and Venus is going to be conjunct Pluto on the new moon. So this new moon coming up in Pisces, it's complex. Like I said, I just was swimming in the waters trying to figure out how to speak to these archetypes and dynamics. Pluto is the lord of the underworld in ancient astrology and mythology. Pluto is the planet of potency, of transformation. There's a real primal energy with Pluto and those deeper forces that we cannot control. When Pluto is activated strong in someone's chart or in your life or in the collective, we don't have a choice but to face what's being presented and to address it and to move through it, because Pluto will regenerate whatever it touches. So at this new moon, Venus and Mars will be exactly conjunct Pluto, like they're all on the same degree in Capricorn. So this big war and peace, the war on values, being activated or activating and, you know, connecting with Pluto, who's been doing this years, over a decades long journey through Capricorn, dredging up ancient lineages of power, dredging up all of our old traditions, everything that Capricorn rules, and saying, is this really what you want? Taking it down into the primordial depths, into an underworld journey, shaking the fabric or changing the fabric of society down at the core base levels. The ramifications of these times will influence the rest of our lives and the generations to come. And this particular moment where Venus and Mars are conjunct with Pluto, activating a point in the chart or in the sky that was kicked off. It's within degrees of the big kicking off of January, the Pluto Saturn conjunction, and then the big kicking off in March 2020. So this is all being stirred up at this point. So the events that are playing out in the collective right now are all connected to these bigger cycles. And how does that work in our personal lives? Well, we live in a global time. We're moving into Aquarian times. We're not separate. We're moving into a completely different approach to how we feel as a human race. You know, it's Uranus, which wants to change things up, is strong in Taurus right now, which rules the earth. It's a new earth. And when I say a new earth, please don't think I am pushing an agenda of it's going to be better. It's just going to change. So right now, if you're listening to this at the new moon or before, actually this Pluto, Mars, Venus conjunction will be active for the first week of March. So it's potent on a personal level. This could be really showing up in your relationships. If your relationships have been struggling, I would say don't make big decisions. Don't make big changes right now. Let this really, let this pass, this dynamic. And try not to try not to disrupt it. Really wait for the full moon or towards the end of March if you're wanting to resolve things, especially once Venus and Mars in the second week of March move into Aquarius and the whole story shifts again. So once Venus and Mars move into Aquarius, we could see a shift from the breaking down. It's them moving away from Pluto, so they've gone through the underworld, they've gone through some big transformation in all the Capricornian themes, and then they move into Aquarius. And Aquarius is about the future. There's a future drive. It's about changing the rules, you know, changing this heavy structure, because if we don't shift, if we don't have iterations and we stay the same, which is what wants to happen with Capricorn, and it's not negative, but it's just, if we don't change, we don't evolve. It's the iterations that evolve the species, that change our lives. It's those pattern interrupts that stop us spinning and looping on the spot. So Venus and Mars in their conjunction still And as I've written in the sharing, like that, it's a tango because it's intense. When I think about Venus and Mars right now, they're doing a tango. It's like, it's passionate, it's big, and they're serious. Especially with Venus right now, she is the morning star. And ancient astrologers viewed that as her being Athena, like as in a goddess of wisdom and a goddess of war. And so it's not that she wants war, but she's tactical, she's strategic. And right now she's in Capricorn. I'm not giving up, which is why I've called this, a month to not give up. Don't give up. Venus is there. Yep, she's being really challenged by Mars and Pluto, and she'll be really challenged again by Saturn towards the end of March. She'll be between Mars and Saturn, but she's powerful and she can handle it. And she actually doesn't mind being in Aquarius. She can find different ways to solve problems and different approaches to values. So the Mars-Venus conjunction moving into Aquarius, which then means that there's only Pluto in Capricorn for a while, and we'll have a big shift towards the end of the month, or the middle of the month towards the end of the month, into Aquarius and Pisces. All the planets, they'll all be bunched up in that part of the sky. And that will be really so different. There's a future focus with Aquarius, as I've said. Innovation, the rules are changing. Very, there can be a lot of disruptions. And I want to speak a little bit about Uranus. I think it's really important. Uranus and Saturn are still in their big challenging square that I've talked about so much. And that will continue being in an influence in our lives, because the fourth and final challenging square between these two planets will happen in October this year. So we're still under the influence of this particular cycle. It is a longer than normal cycle, and Saturn-Uranus squares really are about shifting the old structures. So you can see this theme of deep systemic change is prevalent in so many ways, and it's not going away soon. I will let you know 3 out of the 4 eclipses of this year, Uranus is in a conjunction. So when Uranus is at play, the rules the rules will change. You can't plan for this, you can't be prepared, but you can expect the unexpected, and that's what's going on. These are times when the best way, in my opinion, to deal with it is to have a spiritual practice, or a practice. It doesn't have to be spiritual, but anything that takes you out of focusing on the news and what's going on out there, anything that takes you in. I don't care what it is, if it's a sport, walking, driving. I love going on long drives out into nature. I love it. It just gets me into myself, and I have those moments. Well, I have the space for the moments of the ahas to come through. This is a time, and up until the end of the year, where your inner work, and if you have a spiritual practice, this is when they will be supported, especially at this new moon in Pisces. There's a really big, beautiful dynamic going on in Pisces, with Jupiter being in Pisces at the moment and being a part of the full moon coming up and this new moon. And there's just some real magic around, but you've got to earn it. You've got to work for it, and you've got to create the space for the magic to come in. So this lunar month, while Uranus is strong in this year, go in. Don't dissociate. That's the shadow of Pisces. Don't bypass it. Be aware, but go in and don't give up. Jupiter Pisces is faith, belief. We will get through this. Maybe what's going on is to challenge us as a species to make a systemic change. Maybe, as I've said earlier, I looked at this year and I had the overwhelming sense that humanity cannot skip this step. We must evolve at this time, and it's not comfortable. No change is comfortable. So really journey with this. Allow the parts of you that are stuck in the old paradigms to unravel. Journey to the full moon in Virgo, which is about coming back to what is sacred, to what is pure, releasing what isn't pure. And I don't mean we're all holy. No, we're all of it. But the purity of wisdom, come back at this full moon and release, let go, write down, burn on paper anything that is of your old fears, old beliefs about money, work, marriage, how, we, governance. Really let it go. Really let it go. The astrology has, in this lunar month, has a potential for spiritual breakthroughs, spiritual awakenings, epiphanies, aha moments, connecting stronger to your values, your core values at a deep soul level. Journey with it. Really. Okay, so at this new moon in Pisces, like I said, we've got a mega intense dynamic going on. But there's also some really beautiful spiritual activations. And my suggestion, if you're one to work in ceremony and ritual, and you honor the lunar cycles, which is seeding in intentions at the new moon, and then at the full moon, releasing what's in the way of your intentions, or taking inspired action at another level, or on your intentions from the new moon. Or it can be a time when there's an amplification and a ripening of what you seeded in at the new moon. But at this new moon in Pisces, really sit and focus on who you want to be during these times of great upheaval and unrest. What matters to you? Really sit and listen to what that is. There's so much noise, it's speeding up, it's chaotic. At this new moon in Pisces, really stop. Feel humanity. Feel the primordial waters of creation and birthing, and where we are all connected. What happens in one country, in one little village, in one forest, happens to all of us on some level. These are times where these events that are happening on a global, well, in other parts of the world, we're feeling the global scale of it. And we are not separate, and we need to pray and care about our humanity, our brothers and our sisters across this planet. This new moon is a time to make a prayer for everybody on earth, for all of us, for the environment, for the animals, for humanity. Really take some time out and really seed intentions in that help you on a spiritual level. The Pisces Virgo axis of this new moon, full moon, it is about cleansing. It is about healing. It can have a strong health focus. So really tune into what will support you, and know that that full moon will be a time for purification, for releasing. At the full moon, spend some time, write down what you want to release. This can be a great lunar month at a very personal level to set new spiritual goals, to forgive, to heal, to look after your physical well-being, your mental, your spiritual well-being even more. And again, like I've already said, this is a lunar month to really take your personal practices, they don't have to be religious, to really be more disciplined, do a daily practice to get out of the chaos, out of the noise, and to get yourself to a point where you can be with the great transformation that's going on. Now, by the end of the month, as I said, the energy shifts a lot. Hopefully, we have some really beautiful, positive shifts taking place. There is the potential astrologically for that, but life is so much more complex than I can comprehend in the astrology cycles. But there does seem to be this very big shift that wants to come in the last week of March. And then in April, there's the new moon coming up in Aries. It is the beginning of the astrological new year. It's the turn of the seasons, and we have the big Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in Pisces, which is significant because they are both happy in this sign. It might bring a lot of hope for humanity. It could be a great healing for the human race, especially with Aquarius being activated towards the end of the month as well. So don't give up, don't lose faith. Maybe, and I don't know this for sure, but maybe what's going on is a setup to make us change the way we value things on this planet. This war on values, it's being activated so strong, maybe so we can really look. And how to deal with this right now? Go within. Release, purify, let go of any wounding, any pain, any thoughts around patriarchy and those old top-down structures that still are in your system. Let them go. Open your heart, open your mind to new ways of being on this planet. Embrace the new and know that we are all connected. As you heal, so does the world, truly. There's, when an individual in a community or a family system awakens, and I don't mean some big cosmic, like, the guru came to me. That can happen, that's great. And a lot of that might be happening, and that's perfect. But just one individual in a family to wake up and go, oh my God, what are we doing? It can change. The whole system goes up a level. When one bad seed is in the system, the whole system has to heal and recover from it. Don't be that. Be the one in the system that's like, I'm not scared of these times. I'm embracing it. I'm going to do my bit. I'm not going to give in to bypassing and dissociation, which is strong with Pisces, or apathy, not caring, hopelessness. Do not succumb to it. Stay strong in yourselves and know that you do matter. Every individual matters. That is the teaching of Pisces and also Aquarius, that the individual, the health of the individual is vital for the whole system, and we are all connected. We are all part of one bigger consciousness. So I will stop on that note. I am sending you always so much love. I will see you again next month, which is going to be super interesting. A whole new cycle. Let's just pray so much that everyone on earth can really get into this new approach to being the human race. So I am, sending you love, and I'll see you all again next month. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.